Okay, my friends, welcome back to the channel after a short hiatus. I'm not going to hang about today because I've got a bit to get through. A few weeks ago I mentioned that I'd managed to complete the first 300 numerically of the door yellow spines, of which there are 580, and of course I'm trying to collect all of the 580. We've covered, in previous 4 videos, we've covered numbers 1 to 200. So today we're going to have a look at numbers 201 to 250. Let's get prepared there. Right, okay, straight into it. Right, here's number 201. I don't know how you pronounce that. Bunduki, Bundukai. I've no idea. J.T. Edson, of course, is more recognisable as a writer of westerns. But that was his one and only book that was published by Door. Tarzan Rip-Off, as you can see, very nice cover by Michael Whelan. Okie dokie. Now this one is the one and only Door book that I have without the collector's number up here. That is number 202. I'm not in any rush to replace it because I've got more pressing things to worry about with the Door project. So at some stage I will, but there it is anyway. 202. I'm not quite sure who the artist is. I don't recognise him, but it's Thomas Barber Jr. Not bad. 202. Right, 203. We have John Brunner. Interesting cover. Very prolific author for Door. Again, I don't recognise the artist, I'm afraid. It's a chap called Paul Lehr, L-E-H-R. Heard of him, but I'm not familiar with his work. Okay, here's one of the multitudinous Dre Prescott stroke Cragen books. Alan Burt Akers, who, as I've said many times before, is a pseudonym of Kenneth Bulmer. Very nice Michael Whelan there. Pity it's not full page, but there you go. 204, right. 205, I believe. Yeah, this is the second of the Best Fantasy series. I believe there were maybe 13 in the Yellow Spines. And that, of course, is George Barr, who rarely disappoints. Nice cover. Presented by Lynn Carter. Okay. Right, another author who had a lot of work published by Door. V. Van Vogt. That was originally published under the title The Secret Galactics. Again, cover art is not familiar to me, sadly. Someone called Dean Cate, C-A-T-E. Sorry, don't know you, Dean. It's him. Right, someone I do know. It's good old Josh Kirby there, who of course did many, if not all, of the Ron Goulart books, of which there were quite a few. I've covered his history before. Did about 15, I believe. Number 207. Nice cover. Of course, most of them are comedy covers for Ron Goulart, an author I don't care for, but there you go. It's a conversation for another day. Right, 208, John Brunner again. Again, the artwork, or the artist, escapes me. Oh, it's Mr. Paul Lehr again. Should be used to him by now. Right, and here's a strange one. Kyoga. The Wilderness, William Chester. These are quite hard to come across these days. I actually found that in a charity shop. It's a couple of quid. I was delighted with that, given the current uptrend or upsurge in indoor book prices. So, yeah, that was illustrated by the rather amusingly named John Hamburger. I couldn't forget that one. That's good old John. I think it's his one and only cover for Dora. I've never seen any others. Right, here we go with another link card, as you can see there. Third book of the Gondwain epic. Rather untypical Michael Whelan there, but like I say, it's condensed. So it's only sort of like a third of the page virtually, so it's a third of the cover, so it's hard to see. Number 210. Okay, there we have another one of the Daedalus books. Brian Stableford, who was, again, quite prolific indoor. That is Michael Whelan. Not one of his better efforts, but there you go, 211. Okay, C.J. Cherry. She's an author that I really don't care for either, but the artwork, for what it's worth, you can't see it. Again, I'm unfamiliar. Who do we have? Alan Atkinson. I had a brother-in-law called Alan Atkinson, but that's it's the only connection I can make with that guy. Right, here's a tricky one to find. Disciples of Cthulhu. Obviously, an anthology. It is a Carol Thole cover. Says we Cthulhu-ish. Yeah, quite nice. Okay, there we have this is the first of the updated Elric books that Dora published. The books had been sort of all over the place before this, but they managed to collect all the stories as was known at the time, 1974, I believe. Just check that. I'm giving you any duff information. Yeah, no, 76 actually. And so it was a service to Elric fans because it had the complete run in chronological order. 6 books, some of which we'll see later. And that's good old Michael Whelan, nice cover there. One of my favourite characters in science fiction or science fantasy, if you like. Okay, now here's a... double check that, yeah. That's a first Jack Gordon in this little bundle here. There's not many, I haven't seen a lot of Jack Gordons, there's very few in this lot. Second War of the World was a rip-off, well, an extension of H.G. Wells. Quite a lot of those in Dora actually. It's, yeah, there's Jack Gordon, number 215. And we have another Jack Gordon. Wallace under Ian Wallace. He did, I think maybe half a dozen, 7 books for Dora. And that again, as I say, is Jack Gordon. They're the only 2 in amongst this lot. Oh no, sorry, there's another one later on. Right. Okay, now we have another in the very tricky to find series. As I said before, not so bad in the States, but quite hard to find over here. Another Michael Whelan. Nice cover. And that's number 217. Okay, now here's one of the more expensive books that you need to get if you can find one at a decent price. All three of the Strugatsky brothers books are quite expensive now, ridiculously so, in fact. But when you're a captive audience, you have to pay. Yes. Number 218, interesting cover. Again, the artist, I don't know, somebody called Lawrence Kresek, K-R-E-S-E-K. If you're familiar with him, well done, because I'm not. Okay, now we have another one of our tubs. Another Michael Whelan cover there. Millions of those, of course. And the second Elric book. Again, Michael Whelan, nice cover. See it a bit better up close. Yeah, nice. And another Michael Whelan. Another Drake Prescott book. Must have been popular, but I don't think I could be interested in reading one. Never mind. Right, here we go. Good old George Barr. Always had a good turn, George. Nice cover as usual. Thomas Bennett Swan. Not familiar, but maybe one day. Right, here's a nice cover. This cover I like a lot. It's by a guy called Richard Hescox. Yeah, there's something about that cover that appeals to me. David Lake. He did half a dozen. I don't know, we've covered him before. Half a dozen books for Door. Yeah, nice. Richard Hescox there. Okay. Another A. Van Vogt. Again, Door published a lot of his books. That's Vincent de Fate. Supermind. Yep. Right, 224. And halfway. Jewel in the Skull, that was part of the Dorian Hawkmoon series, and that cover is by a chap called Richard Clifton Day. Quite nice. Okay, right, let's move on. I'll just pull this teetering pile forward. Okay, now we have the first cover by my very favourite artist, Don Mates. That's a tricky talently to find, but I mean that's a very low grade copy. I'll have to sort that one out later on. But as I say, it's not the cheapest, so it won't be a priority of mine. At least I have a copy. Number 226. Right, 227, one of those daft little bits of art down the bottom there. Gordon Dixon. All of his books were like this, so I don't know why. And the art, for what it's worth, is by, I might Paul there again. Should get to know him by now. Yeah. Okay, where are we? Right, another one of the Kyoga books. One of three. Richard Hiscock's art. Nothing too exciting, but there we go. Strange, that and the Edson that I showed you earlier, it doesn't seem to be either fantasy or science fiction, but I've never read them, so what do I know? Okay. Another Moorcock. Oh, that's on the artwork. There was a tatty mark at the top there, but it's part of the art. There's a very strange cover by a guy called Bob Pepper. It's a collection, that one, short stories. Right, where are we? Mr. Stableford again. Another Dealer's book. 230. Artist is somebody called Douglas Beekman. No idea. Not particularly exciting, I have to say. Okay, right, then we have good old Josh again. Another Goulart. Well, the title, the Pan-Chronican Plot. Trying to read backwards, as I am on here. Yeah. Well, Josh always does good covers, doesn't he? I think I knew him personally, Josh, Mr. Kirby, rather. Okay, Gino Dakile, or Dakile, I'm not sure how they pronounce it. One of the new Gore books, one a year they published, of which that is, so you can see, the 11th. Okay, very thick books those actually. Take me a week to read that. Righty, there's the third of the Elric books. Again, Michael Whelan. These were published under different titles in the US. Lancer Books did a bunch of them, but this particular one originally was called The Stealer of Souls. Number 233. Okay, Bertrand Chandler. It's one of the John Grimes books. Again, I'm not familiar with the artist here. Somebody called Ray Faybush. F-E-I Bush. Not great, but not bad. Okay, right now we have one of the many Diadem books by Joe Clayton, another very popular author indoor. Michael Whelan. They're not one of his greatest, but certainly better than quite a few. Right, there is a Watt River book. It's almost in encyclopedic proportions, isn't it? Again, Michael Whelan, M.A. Foster. He did about seven books, or published 7 of his books. interesting cover there. And that is number 236. Right, here we're back to Josh Kirby again. Yet another Andre Prescott. I don't know what rate these came out, but they seem to be every other month. They did four a month. But, certainly a lot of them. Number 237. Okay, here we have Richard Clifton Day again with second volume in the history of the rune stuff. Yeah, I mean, he's not familiar with his work, but not bad at all. A bit Michael Whelanish, I suppose. Right, now it's a nice George Barr. I'll say really disappoints. I've seen the odd cover that I haven't particularly cared for, but by and large, his work is pretty good. David Lake, yeah, he's another one that did about 6 or 7. I can't quite remember exactly. Number 239. Okay, now this is a very low grade copy, but you have to get these where you see them. I've had a lot of trouble finding the Annual World's Best SF, Jack Gorn. You can see there's moth-eaten and the back's pretty grimy, so that will be due a replacement, but not anytime soon. Okay, here's an unusual Michael Whelan here. Earthchild, Doris Pisertia. I'm told, Stephen the Outlaw Bookseller tells me I should read her, along with one of the other authors. I'm forgetting. My memory's shocking. But she did about half a dozen for Door, so I can pick. So that's quite an unusual cover. Number 241. Okay. One of the very few in this little lot by Don Mates again. Not one of his most thrilling, but such a great artist. I love him. Where are we? 242. And the fourth book in the Gondwain epic. I think there's 5 of those, isn't there? I think the artist, not familiar to me, or to you I would imagine, called John Beerley, Bierley. No, never heard of him. Reminds me of somebody, but I can't quite think who. Anyway, he didn't do many for Door, that's for sure. Right, here's a Jack Gorn. Obviously that's a collection. John Jakes, 244. Yep, another thick tome. Right, here's the 4th of the Elrics. Very dark, that one. It's very atmospheric. Again, that was published under the title The Sleeping Sorceress. That's another Michael Whelan. Michael Whelan did all of the Elric books, so there we are. Right, this is the only entry in this little lot by H.R. Van Dongen. not a great fan of his, but that's not bad. I've done without the face in the background, I guess, but... Right, number 246. Now this is one of my favourite door covers. Love it. Beautiful colours. George Barr. Just a lovely cover, that one. And it reminds me of the cover I have for one of the Jack Vance books in the Ace smaller editions, the rack size ones. Absolutely lovely. Love it. Okay, now we're down to the last three. There's another whopper. Realms of Tartarus. Yeah, that's neither a Granger or a Daedalus novel, it's something else entirely. Nice cover, mind. Wish I knew who drew it. I should, but I don't. Oh no, well. It's by a chap called Ron Walotsky, Walotsky. Not familiar. Nice. Right. Last but one. Richard Clifton Day. Again, third volume in the history of the rune staff, as you can see. You know, I don't know, these have got a strange colour palette to them. I don't know whether that's a little bit faded or what. And certainly the spine isn't, so maybe it's just the colour palette. So 249, and last but not least we finish with a nice Michael Whelan for one of the Hard to Find horror stories. I think I've mentioned before I was really lucky with these. I managed to pick up almost the complete series in Yellow Spine. That's a lovely cover, I like that one. Nice red background. Yeah, so there you have it, folks. There is number 201 to 250. Of course, I have 251 to 300 to show you very soon, hopefully. I continue with my quest to pick them all up. We're getting there, and I'll have a report on that when I receive a few from America and Canada. So, thank you very much for watching and whatever else you do, and I will see you very soon. Bye-bye now.